All right, now we're going to talk about volume, okay? And we've talked about surface area, and that is if you were going to take each of the faces of the solid figure that you have, and you're going to put like paper around it, or you're going to paint the outside of it, you'd have to find surface area. Well, now we're going to shift a little bit. We're going to talk about volume. Volume is like filling up the inside. So if I was going to pour something, like maybe sand, into this and I was going to fill it up, or if I was going to pour water into it and I was going to fill it up, that's what we're talking about when we say volume. Okay, and it says the volume of a prism or a cylinder is found by multiplying the area of the base times the height. Okay, so what you're going to see as a formula is you're going to see volume equals base times height. Now they use a capital B for base because the base changes depending on the figure we have, right? So if I have a prism like this, the base of it is a square in this case, or base times height to get the area of the base. Whereas if I have a cylinder, okay, the cylinder's base is a circle. So to find the area of that circle, I have to have a different formula. So we use a capital B for that, and that's going to vary depending on which shape we're talking about, okay? So it says determine the shape of the base, calculate its area, and then multiply it by the height. So in this case, this is a cylinder. So the base of it down here that it's sitting on is going to be a circle just like this top is. So the area of the base, since it's circular, area of a circle is pi times radius squared. Okay, this is what I would be using to find my capital B because it's a circle that the base is. And then I'm just going to take that times the height of my cylinder. So in this case, I would do pi times 4 squared times 18. Okay, pi times 16 times 18. I'm going to get a volume. If I take 16 times 18, I'm going to get 288 pi. Now, volume. When we did area, we said that area was a squared unit. When we found perimeter, that was just the unit. So if the units were centimeters, it was just centimeters for perimeter. But for area, it was centimeters squared. Well, when it comes to volume, since it's 3 dimensions, okay, we've got a radius times a height. That's 3 of them. So we're going to say this is centimeters cubed. Okay, volume is going to be a cubed unit. So the volume of this cylinder would be 288 pi centimeters cubed. And it's okay to leave pi in your answer, just like you did the other times that you were working with a circle. Okay, height is not necessarily vertical. A figure could be lying down. Okay, it says look for the 2 matching bases and rectangular or parallelogram lateral faces. For example, if you look at this prism, okay, you've got a triangular piece here, and you've got one on the other end that they're parallel to each other. So even though the prism is not actually sitting on the triangular base, it would be considered the base. These 2 triangle pieces would be considered the base. Okay? So when I want to use volume equals the base times the height, in this case, since the base is a triangle, I'm going to be using 1/2 times base times height. That portion, that's the formula that we use to find area of a triangle. That's what I'm going to be using to calculate that capital B. And then I'm going to take it times the height of the pyramid, or the prism itself. Okay? And the height in this prism is right here. That's going to be the 12. Okay, so to calculate the triangular piece, it's going to be 1/2 times the base of the triangle is 15 times the height of the triangle is 8. Okay, half of 15 would leave me with a decimal, but I could take half of 8. Half of 8 is 4. 4 times 15 is 60. So 60 times 12. I'm going to get 720. And again, it's going to be centimeters cubed for volume. Okay, so we use the same formula, whether it's a prism, no matter what kind of prism it is, or a cylinder, doesn't matter about the cylinder, doesn't matter which of these shapes. We use the same formula. That formula is volume equals capital B times H. Now, finding that capital B is going to be different depending on which shape you have. And the prism is going to depend on what the base is. Okay, if the base of a prism is a triangle, then you've got to use the triangle formula to find base. If the base of the prism is a rectangle, then you've got to use the rectangle formula to find the capital B. If the base of this were a octagon, then you'd have to use that 1/2 san formula to find the area of the base. And then we just take it times the height. For all of your cylinders, your bases are going to be circles. That's why they're cylinders. So you're going to have to use pi times radius squared to find your B, your base. And then take it times the height of the cylinder. Okay? You can start working on 11.2.